Early impressions of the first couple practices. How's the defense looking so far?
It's hard to tell. I mean, we're only 3 in, but so far I think Coach Hoke's probably said it himself. But I think everyone's kind of come out with a lot of energy the first 2, and then even today. I mean, today I think we started a little slower than we would have liked, especially on defense. But we picked it up as we went along, and I think guys playing with passion and playing aggressive and having a lot of energy every day is something that I think we've noticed so far.
How's life in the middle?
It's good. It's definitely a little bit of an adjustment. The Will and Mike are similar positions, but some of the run fits and things like that are a little bit different, and as well as pass responsibilities. But I feel comfortable so far. Still learning, picking up on some other things that maybe I didn't do as well as much.
Have you been there pretty much exclusively so far? Or?
So far, yeah. I mean, we're expected to know all of them, but the last 2 years I played mainly Will, so I understand that one pretty well. But like I said, they expect us to know both of them.
How's the offense looked? How's the defense been without Kovacs? Because he's been such a mainstay. Is it different almost?
I mean, whenever you lose a guy like Kovacs, it's definitely different. I mean, Jordan's a great player. He's a great leader, on and off the field. But I think we've had guys that have stepped up for sure. Thomas Gordon, Marvin, Robinson, all those guys that are back down the back end. Jared Wilson, even they're becoming vocal and they're stepping into leadership roles, and I think they're doing a good job so far.
Has Gordon stepped up?
Yeah, definitely.
How?
As far as just talking and taking control out there, I know a lot of the time last year, they went back and forth, but Kovacs was definitely more of a vocal leader and made a lot of calls first, and other guys were echoing and stuff like that. And Tom's really stepped up, and he knows what's going on for sure, and he's making the calls first before other guys are. So he's definitely stepped up in that role.
You mentioned the coaches want you guys to know both the Mike and the Will.
Yeah.
Is that kind of the plan moving forward, that you're all going to be maybe a little more interchangeable at those 2 spots?
Definitely, they want us to be interchangeable. They want to put the best 2 guys on the field in whatever situation it is. If one guy's go down, they don't want to have to go to the next Mike or the next Will. They want to go to the next best linebacker kind of thing. And I think that's kind of all our mindsets. We're pushing each other. Maybe even if it's not our position, if we know something in some area, we're pointing out to a certain guy, stuff like that. Because like you said, we're all expecting to know both of them, and we're all expecting to excel at both of them.
So how are James and Joe looking so far?
Good. I think everybody's looking good. I mean, everybody's out there competing so far. All the guys in that room, we know that no one is guaranteed any spot on that depth chart, just as any other position on this football team. And so, we're all fighting every day and, trying to make each other better, really.
When did you find out that you'd be practicing with Mike?
Coach Smith came to me at the end of winter conditioning, one of the runs. He just kind of told me, kind of look at some of the Mike stuff, pay attention, once we start meeting for spring ball, stuff like that. And so then that's when I kind of knew. He said he wasn't for sure at first, but, then about a week later he told me that he was going to have me specifically at Mike and learning that. So,
Have you ever repped at the Mike before?
Actually, the Alabama game last year, I played a little bit when Kenny was out for a little while. I've played there a couple other times. I mean, like I said, they're not too different as far as responsibility. There's slight differences here and there, but we've kind of been expected to know all of them all the way through. But I think this year it's definitely more emphasized.
What's the biggest difference between playing the 2 positions? The biggest thing that you'll have to focus on this game?
The thing I've noticed so far, just from being in practice, is the run fits and kind of where you're fitting off different guys. Staying backside, maybe not flowing as fast. I know the Will, a lot of times you're given free reign to run and kind of come across the center, stuff like that. Where Mike, you have to make your moves where it's slow and things like that. So that's just something I've noticed first off, and I've been trying to improve on that one.
What about getting off blocks from linemen? I think the Mike is more exposed to that, whereas the Will kind of, like you said, has more range to run. Do you feel like that's something that, because of, size issues, or like is that something that you need to get used to?
I would say you're right. I think they are exposed more. I know at Will I was definitely used to taking on guys, because when you're playing linebacker, you're going to be taking on linemen no matter what. I think all of us have made a lot of strength gains in the weight room this year that we've kind of seen come out here in spring ball. I know I have personally, extending strength, stuff like that, coming off like bench press, stuff like that. So I think those gains have helped, a lot of guys, not just myself. But it's something that you're right, you do have to adjust to, because you take them on a little bit more. But in the same sense, you're at the end of the day, you're a linebacker and you're going to be taking on either position.